listos? Okay. Hey, people, welcome to another edition of Morsels, Muscles, and Mindsets. We are your hosts, Militia Shevchenko, north of the border, who does not like the northern component to be north of the border. And I am Al Painter here in the Eagle, Idaho. I love being here and the wintry things that are going on. So we had snow this week. It was awesome. I'm bummed out. We're not getting it for another couple weeks. And it's beautiful here. All of the houses, it's sunny right now. So all the houses look like gingerbread houses. So it's like I'm almost having a sugar crash just looking at the houses, at the windows and everything. And I love it. How about you, Melissa?
I do not. So I should say though, I don't mind snow and winter when it's like anything like -10 and up. Better.
-10?
As a low.
Oh.
Like that's the lowest I want to see.
Oh
where I live, however, we get like -40, -50, yuck. So
what?
It gets to a certain point in the winter where Melissa does not actually go outside. So Melissa has been working hard to set herself up whereby she spends at least a few months or a couple of months in the winter away from the actual winter and in the sunshine and the beach and the warm.
Hold on a sec. -40.
Yes.
What is that even like?
It's not, well, you just heard. It's not pleasant. I don't even go outside. I have to go outside to go get groceries. Like currently right here, right now, it is -20 with the wind and -13. -13, -20 with the wind chill. So
that is so just like, I can't even fathom what that must be like. Like, how cold does it have to be before you like immediately get frostbite if you go outside?
No, you don't immediately get frostbite even in -40.
Oh.
Not immediately. I mean, you would have to be out there with, I mean, obviously if you went out not dressed for it, it wouldn't be great. But I mean, I've been living I live in northern Alberta, so that's why the temperatures are like that. But I've been living here for 20 years and like it's not uncommon for January and February specifically to be like anywhere from -40 to -50 the majority of the time.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so when I complain about the winter, that is why.
Okay, I'll give you have legitimate cause to voice concerns over the weather patterns.
You did not know this about me, did you?
Well, I didn't know it got colder than a well digger's ass over there. Oh my God, I didn't know it got like that. Because one of my favorite shows is Letterkenny, and it's somewhere near.
Oh, my husband loves that too.
Oh, I love that show, right? And it was the other one the other day where Squirrely Dan went outside and where they had the ice hut, and they said it was like -40 with a wind chill or something. And I was like, my God, what is that even like? I couldn't even.
Come visit. In January.
No, absolutely. Like, can planes even, like, seriously, can the planes even fly in that area or no? Yeah. With all the ice in the wings and everything? Oh my God.
Everything still functions. I mean, it gets to a point where it's like extremely cold, not so much where they don't fly, but things might be a little bit more delayed. But even in the cold, everything still happens. Everything still happens like normal. Schools don't close or anything like that.
I'm getting brain freeze just listening to that.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a perfect lead into what I want other people to know, because I was thinking about this the other day. We didn't see the sun for a long time. And then it came out, and I was wondering, how am I supposed to get vitamin D outside of supplements? Because, in the summertime, it's easy because you're out in the sun, right? I mean, it's getting on your arms and legs and face and whatnot. But in the winter, what do you do? I mean, I know you're supposed to get outside, like in the sun, 10 minutes in the morning. And then I believe if it's overcast or cloudy, 20 to 30 minutes. But outside of that, what are some of the better ways for folks to get vitamin D if they live in areas that, well, are -40?
Honestly, the best way I would say to get vitamin D is through supplementation. It's not as easy to get when you live in a place like this, or even in a place where it doesn't see a lot of sun in the wintertime. I I don't know that there's a better way, in quotation marks, to get it without supplementation.
What foods have vitamin D in them? I don't even know that.
Technically speaking, if you don't see the sun very, very much, I mean, in the summer there's like in the summer here where I live, it may not get dark till midnight. That's how it works. So like we have a ton of light in the summertime and a ton of sunshine. Even right now, it's very sunny outside, but I ain't going out there. So it's really hard to get adequate vitamin D. So I would actually add a supplement to your regimen in the for like the winter months. I know loads of people here in Canada, at like not just in my area, but in Canada in general, who do that. As far as foods go, I need to look it up here real quick because I had it all kind of on myself here. But do you take a vitamin D supplement?
I do. And what about, is there is it IU, right? IU recommendation? I mean, the label comes with something, but
I don't know what it is right off the top of my head, without like when you're not getting a ton of exposure. Because technically speaking, like, I mean, I don't usually find myself noticing that I don't notice any difference for myself other than my mood,
yeah,
when we
right.
go from summer or fall into winter, just the mood itself. But we also have, and I mean, this applies, I think, to anywhere probably that experiences more darkness and has like winter, really long winter months that are cold. Seasonal affective disorder is also very, very common, where you tend to experience all these symptoms of almost like a depressive kind of state and a mood altering state because of the way that the daylight to darkness so much, and just being exposed to such extreme cold, not a whole lot of sunlight. I actually had somebody come in a couple of weeks ago and do a presentation for my clients on that. Is that something
Nice.
you've ever experienced?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
experienced.
last year I got the SADS last year because
Yeah.
I had spent, well, let's see here, 50, yes, 50 winters in California, which now that I'm up here, it's like, that was 50 winter in California. Please, doesn't exist. And
Did
you can go outside and
you
play.
before Idaho?
Yeah. I was born there. We didn't move here till August of 2021.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, go on. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay. Anything else you want to talk? I can. Yeah, but the winters down there, you can play outside year round. I mean,
Yeah,
it rains a little bit, but for the most part, you see the sun quite a bit. And there was a period last year, and I don't know, it may have been January or something like that, where there was no sun. I mean, if you drove about, I don't know, hour away up this 18-mile road thing, you could get above the clouds and see sunshine, but that was a lot of work. This year I might actually do that, but it was rough, man. I didn't think I had never experienced anything like that before, and it was it was not fun. Exercise was the only thing that helped. Meditation, what else? Really trying to be super clean with what I ate. I tried to
yeah.
damn near eliminate all processed stuff. I mean, anything I could do to give my physiology a jump start to try to help my mood. I even used Optics has this technology in their lenses. They call it Happy Lens, where the way it filters light, it's supposed to elevate your moods and everything else. I tried that at whatever I could think of.
Yeah, I find that the lifestyle we lead helps, like in terms of like exercise and in terms of, you know, healthier foods and stuff like that. But I still notice that myself, just, when it's dark at like or getting dark at like 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the afternoon, I'm like, oh my God. So, but anyway, I have my notes up so that now that I've found it, sorry, it's vitamin D is found in things like fish, cod liver oil, mushrooms, eggs, and liver, but not in substantial amounts.
Okay.
So this is why it's recommended, regardless, to, especially in the winter months, to take a supplement. And then in answer to your question of the IU, it's an intake of greater than or equal to about 1,000 IU may be needed for most of the population.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a very, I would say, good idea to add it to your supplement regimen in the winter months.
And it helps with the immune system function too,
It
right?
does. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
so for us people living in the winter who
Oh
have
gosh.
you know, just less exposure to sunlight and really colder, way colder temperatures or whatever, highly recommended to add vitamin D to your supplementation, because you can't get it very much of it from food itself.
So then, because here we have drops, I've got the pills, and Jill has another form. Is there a form, liquid versus solid, that is better than the other?
Sometimes they say that liquid gets into the system quicker.
Okay.
I don't know if that's actually true. I use a pill form.
Okay. And
But
is that with food or empty stomach, or what's one of the best ways to do it?
I usually take mine for all my supplements, anything that I take first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. But then I'm not waiting very long before I eat, like maybe a half hour.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Oh,
The joys.
yeah, right. This year I'm more mentally prepared.
I feel like I am too, but I think it's because I also know that I'm going away come January.
Where are you headed?
We're going to Mexico.
Nice. What
We
part?
went to Mexico last year. We're going to the Riviera Maya this year. We've been before, but we're just trying to experience a bunch of different areas. Last year we were in Cabo, trying to experience a bunch of different areas to see which one that we may go back to more often year after year.
Did you get hung upside down at the Giggle and Marlin? Take a picture?
No, I didn't. But we did go, but I didn't do that.
Nice, nice, nice. All right, well, there you go, folks. Get your vitamin D supplementation form and early and often. If you want more information on that, you can reach out to Melissa. So if you're going to exercise at home in the winter months after you take your vitamin D to try to prevent the SADs, one of the things you should do is move to warm up. I recently found so one of my kiddos they're in a running club. Basically, they just run.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and it doesn't drain Jeremy's battery at all. I mean, on Thursday mornings he goes to running club, and then Thursday nights he does his ninja class. And while he has perfected his running front flip, which looks it's so awesome, they do like this park Q kind of course.
Yeah.
They Joel's telling me that they had the kids stretch before they did stuff. I'm like, okay, first of all, they are roughly probably between 6 and maybe 11, roughly. It's like at that age, the body's pretty much ready to go at the drop of the dime, right? If there's fun to be had, it's already prepped and ready to go.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, okay. And I've seen the kids stretch, quote unquote, and it's just kind of like, how bad can you put your posture in a position to visually offend my eyes and stretch, And so I have to let it go, because I don't want to be that parent, even though I am more than.
Though you want to be that.
Yeah, I'm more than qualified to be that parent.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying not to be, oh God, there's Jeremy's dad, right? That guy.
Yeah.
So I decided, you know what? I think that I will get my rebuttal to this out in a blog post. So I wrote one. It's on my blog, integrate.fitness.com/blog-1, shameless plug. And it's pretty much, I asked the question, stretching before a workout, do we really need to go over this? I am not a fan, and I'll give you the reason as to why.
Yeah.
If you're going to, let's say you're going to play a sport, hockey, volleyball, whatever, And why would you sit still or try to get your muscles loose when that's not what you're going to be doing for the activity? Riding a bike, doing rock climbing, going for a
Yeah.
run, swimming, whatever. And the treadmill, people, at the gym does not count as a warm up. It doesn't. It does not count as a warm up. The warm up is meant to get the nervous system primed, to get muscles moving, bones. It's not to raise your temperature 1 degree. If that happens, great. It's to get the nervous system primed for muscles to move bones. Turn the temperature of the tissues up, a little bit, but
Yeah.
move, 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 move. Some people use the first set of their workout doing something where they go really light and then they kind of get into it.
Yeah.
It's not, it's so funny the way that something as simple as moving prior to moving has become so complex.
Right?
It doesn't really need to be.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the most effective work or warm-ups that I've seen is getting up and down from the floor. Dan John has a thing called the get back ups. Go down to your front, up, right side up, left side up, on your back, up. From there, you want to make it more fun. You can put a hand on a knee, hand on an opposite knee, go for a couple minutes, and then switch again. Hand on a shoulder, up and down. I have the people that I train do that all the time. Plus, getting up and down from the floor, we know, vital life skill. But you have to move to get ready to move. And it's just like, makes me crazy, man.
It actually makes me crazy too that people feel, and honestly, I was victim to this too long ago before I learned the difference.
Yeah.
I used to stretch. Like when I was going for a run, I would stretch. Everything would be stretched. And now that I look, I'm like, oh my God, Melissa, what were you thinking? Because, and I get this question often, how come you're not giving me stretching before my workout? I give everybody more what I classify as a dynamic warm up, where you're moving through things like you said, like getting up from the floor or just moving through motions or whatever, where you're actually lubricating the joints. You're not holding positions, But yeah, it's a very common question that I get asked a lot actually now, I've noticed. And people are always questioning how come they don't have to stretch before a workout. So then I have to.
I think one of the easiest answers would be because I like you. Right? I mean, it's so, I don't know if you want to do a post workout, sure.
Yeah,
I mean, unless
absolutely.
you've got some just locked down muscle because of some corrective thing. And even then, I don't know. And to that point, your muscles get tight because your brain is saying, hey, muscles, do not take this joint through that range of motion,
right?
Because you're going to get hurt. So I'm going to put some tension in the muscles so you can't. Or the little happy fun spots, the little adhesions in the muscles that you find out when you're rolling out the IT band or things like that. Right. It's because you have a muscle imbalance. There's length and tension somewhere along your movement chains that is out of whack. So your body puts tension in there from the nervous system, and that tension will not go away with stretching alone. It will not. In fact, if you crank down on a super tight muscle, you can do more not good than good. So move, people, move.
What do you prescribe do you do like a dynamic warm up, or do you do things like, hey, just practice getting up and down off the floor for a few things before you start your workout? Or do you do, like some people like me, sometimes I go downstairs and I will just do a few lighter sets of what I'm about to do, like almost like warm up sets. Sometimes I do that. Like if I'm preparing for a back squat, I will start first with maybe a couple of body weight squats, and then I might add a little bit of a lighter load, and then I'll start my actual sets as a warm up. What do you do? What do you program for your clients as a warm up typically?
D, all of the above.
Oh, okay.
It just depends. One of my favorite ways to get loose, not everybody that I train has it, but quite a few do. Stick mobility, where you just dynamically go through tons of ranges of motion with some isometric tension on either end to get things going. You're moving. The getting up and down from the floor. One of my favorite ones right now that people hate getting up and down from the floor.
They do. They really do.
They do. Which is why I give it to them, because they don't like it, right? That which you like the least is that which you need the most.
Exactly. It's true.
Except I will not eat black licorice because I don't find the taste very tasty.
Not only that, but I'm not a big fan. I hate burpees, and I don't feel like that's very beneficial for me.
No, I hear you. Can you imagine burpees and you had to eat black licorice afterwards? Like,
Actually, I really like black licorice though. Anyway,
what? Oh, how are
we
we
digress.
friends? At any rate, uh, doing that, getting up and down from the floor. So I'll have them go down right side, stand up, left side, stand up,
Okay.
then like 6 total curtsy lunges and do it again.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
or
good.
down to the front, down to the back, lateral lunges.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
way there's a little extra something in between.
Yes. And
And
there's the
then
front motion, back motion, side motion. Okay, cool. Yeah.
love crawling and all variations therein.
Yeah.
Bird dogs, dead bugs, and exercise band like stepping and pressing.
Yeah.
That's a good because it just warms up all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. And stepping and pulling, and maybe step and press with a single arm, alternating arm patterns, whatever. Just a good 5 minutes, 7 max, and then let's go. Let's do it.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
I marvel at if your warm up is half as long as your workout.
yeah. Yeah.
you, you got some things going on that you need my
Yeah.
help or Melissa's help with primarily
Exactly.
to
Yes.
simplify your life.
Simplify, simplify, simplify.
Yeah, it doesn't need to. Plus, I've read some spots or some places where if you stretch head to toe before you work out, by the time you finish your last stretch, you got to go back to the top because your muscles already lost the benefit of it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see if I can dig that up. Yeah, I don't know. You want to stretch afterwards? Sure. Maybe a hip flexor stretch before a glute exercise. Okay, I can see that. Or a chest stretch before a back exercise. I can see that. But like 20 seconds, just real quick.
Where do you think that mindset of feeling the need to stretch has come from prior to working out, as opposed to just moving through fluid motions or whatever? Where do you think that mindset comes from?
I think somebody who drinks decaf probably started it.
Okay.
That's my guess. Because
Yeah.
clearly, if they're drinking the decaf, they didn't have the clarity of thought to figure out, hey, this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably, gosh, I don't know. Maybe
It must be an
some.
old thing that
I would think
like
so.
in the fitness industry, it used to be believed that stretching pre-workout was more beneficial than whatever for some reason. It must have
Yeah,
been
my suspicion is maybe some 70s
yeah.
thing, the running craze started, and maybe
Mhm.
as a way to do it. That's a good question. That'd be my guess. That'd be my
Yeah.
guess.
That would
Or
be my guess too. I was just curious if you knew.
yeah, no, I would think something way back there. One of those, this is always how we've done it kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I was getting at is I was going to say that it's funny that we get in these mindsets of this is how we've always done it. So we're going to keep doing it.
Yes.
Even though the fact that this is the way we've always done it does not mean this is most beneficial. And what I even find funnier, and we often don't think of this because we're not very good at being objective with ourselves, but I'm going to do this because this is what I've always done, but this is not serving me and I'm getting nowhere except for the exact same place I've always been by doing the thing that I've always done.
Ugh,
Right?
the very definition of insanity.
Yes. And
Yeah,
people,
and it's funny because now, let's be honest, there's such a small percentage of the population that is getting paid to have a result that they use their workouts to improve, right? So they're at the top end of the food chain. So for them especially, I guarantee you, the NHL strength coaches are not having their players stretch
right.
before. No, because they've got to get a moose to go left and right and stop explosively and everything else, so they don't rip an adductor in half or something like that, right?
Exactly.
So at that end, it's so critical to move correctly. And there's so much information that, if you stretch prior to some type of dynamic explosive movement, you could impair that movement and you won't get as much juice out of the tank.
Right.
At that level, it's critical. And for most people, you don't really have to think about that kind of stuff because if you're doing explosive stuff every single workout, well, don't.
Right.
That's just
Just don't.
it's dumb. It really is. You can't sustain that for a
Right.
super long time. mentally, physically, whatever. So just be smart about it. I think that there's so much thought that goes into doing that the less thought is going to make the doing that much easier, more manageable, and less decision fatigue.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And the decision fatigue often is we get in that mindset of overthinking and making everything so complicated and making all these decisions, and we don't often realize, this is something I've been talking to with my clients a lot actually recently, the more decisions we have to make, it's almost like the more frozen we become, as opposed to just keeping something extremely simple, not overcomplicating it. The more likely we are to show up, first of all. And second of all, when we have less decisions to make, the less frozen we become, the more we are open to doing, more or learning more or whatever, taking more in a capacity that doesn't have to involve all of these, oh, should I do this or should I do this? Just, that's what I do, even when it comes to cooking and even when it comes to food choices. I don't like that stuff, so I just keep my decisions very simple.
My kids are like that. They have the Chipotle food group, the Blaze Pizza food group, and the Five Guys food group. So it makes everything for them. It's a lot easier for them.
No doubt.
God, Melissa, I don't know why the fitness industry just doesn't consult the two of us for every
Right?
decision that gets made.
Everything would be so much simpler and easier.
You would think. You would think. You would think. You would think. Okay, so give me 3 exercises, warm-up exercises for somebody who's going to the gym. And so they got a full suite of whatever they want. And somebody who's exercising at home, let's give them a sandbag and like JC bands, they attach with the handles. What do you got? What do you got?
Oh, geez, you put me on the spot. I would personally do maybe something like what you said. I like the get up and get up, get on the floor, get up, get on the floor, get up. It's very simple, and we do it all day long. Basically, we sit down, we get up, we sit down, we get up. I also like rotations, T-spine rotations, something like that. I like something like that, and then maybe just before going into the workout itself, maybe like, I don't know, like a body weight squat. It depends on what you're doing, I think, but something like that as well works well. That's 3. You give me 3.
Okay. How about body weight Turkish get up?
Yeah, okay.
Because that can be done anywhere.
Yeah.
Have you ever done get ups trying to balance a shoe on your knuckles?
I have. So I did a kettlebell course once, and we had to do that. Yeah, yeah.
That's harder than using a heavy weight.
So hard.
Right? Because your angles have to be perfect. You ever done it with the little paper cup of water?
No, I didn't do the water, but I've done the shoe.
Oh, the water's the worst, man. Because you have that terror of, I don't want to get wet, even though it's just like 2 ounces of water. Yeah. So for bodyweight Turkish get-ups, if people know how to do it. Yeah. And let's see here. Ooh, I always start mine just because I have 51-year-old hip muscles. With the exercise band around the knees. And it's like a 20-yard left, 20 yards right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then kind of like that diagonal arcing monster walk forward and backwards. And then from there, I'm ready to push and pull with the exercise bands after that.
Cool. Okay, cool.
And then I'll hit the, most of the time, the Turkish get-ups. And then this is maybe, when the get-ups are done, I'm about 5 to 7 minutes in, and it's on after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I only program about 5-8 minutes max for a dynamic warm-up.
Yeah, if you're going high heart rate stuff, prime the pump a little more. But if you're just going regular movement stuff, you don't have to get too nuts. And again, people, just basics, like Melissa said, simulate your first lap of your workout lightly and get your brain going, or do things completely opposite of the equipment you're going to use. Just move. Yeah. You're not going to pull a muscle if you don't stretch. If you pull the muscle in your activity, it's not because you didn't stretch. It's because that muscle has been misused for a while. Your body gave you a signal. You didn't listen to it. And your body said, oh, yeah? Okay. I'll keep you from moving for a while. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, raise his hand, by the way.
Yeah, I've done this too.
When I was coaching baseball, 13, 14-year-olds. And at that age, you have to let them know they're good, but your coach is still ahead of you physically and mentally. I probably not, but So we were out in the outfield doing sprints to get loose, and earlier that day I was doing a workout and my left hamstring was grabbing a little bit on me. And the left glute just wasn't really getting involved with everything that I was doing. I was like, all right, whatever. So here we are, sprint number 4 of 5, 90-foot sprints. The first 80 feet, I was out in front. And I was like, yeah, I still got it. And then the last 10 feet is like, I'm not going to be running for a while. This sucks. And then about, 8 weeks later, the hamstring healed and I was good to go.
But your body did give you the cue. You just didn't listen to it.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah. At the time, it's faded quite a bit, but there's still a pretty strong S on my chest. It just stood for it just stood for stupid. It didn't stand for strong. That's for sure. That was so frustrating.
This was a good topic today because it's actually I do a Tip Tuesday in my my Building Badasses community every week. And that was the Tip Tuesday I had for this coming Tuesday, was the difference why stretching is not that great prior to your workout and why something like a dynamic warm up or whatever is way better. And then I had examples and yada yada. So that was a good topic for today. Yeah.
It's the minds that are great that typically connect the best.
That's right. That's why we are here.
That's right, people. We are here to help you with morsels, muscles, and mindsets. That is all we have for today. All of the info you need, the appropriate links, and everything else will be in the notes of the show. How can people find you, Melissa?
You can find me in my free community on Facebook at Building Badasses or on IG at fitgirlsrock.melissa.
Giddy up. Instagram and the Facebooks and the Twitter machine at Do You Integrate, and you can always join us in the Sarcastically Fit Caffeine Cave on the Facebook social medias. Have an absolutely amazing day, people. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. Melissa, always awesome to talk. We will see you folks next time. Bye.
See you next time.